All right, it's time for the Lance's Lock podcast for Week 11 of college football. Jim Dunaway, mere mortal, Lance Taylor, the guy who heads up Lance's Lock and is here to give you the winners. We're going to look at 8 games here, but to get all the plays, you go to lanceslock.com, lanceslock.com, and also check back there, even as we tell you leans right here. We record this on Friday. Some of that can change by Saturday. lanceslock.com. How do I become a member?
Yeah, jump on board. We give you a free play each and every day. lanceslock.com. It's only $90 per month, $3 per day. We're going to give you everything. College hoops just started up. We're out of the gate good on that. We've got the NBA, obviously the NFL, college football sides and totals. Jump on board. Free plays, we've hit 7 of our last 9 as we record this. We're coming off that tough free loss with North Carolina plus 6.5. They lose the game by 7 in overtime. That would have been 8 of 9. But we give you a free play every day. Monitor that. If you like what you see, jump on board. It's only $90 per month. Some services charging over thousands of dollars per month. We're $90, lanceslock.com.
I'm here to tell you my man doesn't like playing 11 o'clock games. We're going to talk about 3 11 o'clock games.
Yeah, let me give you some winners because if I don't play them, they'll win.
That's right. He's not going to play them at lanceslock.com, so he's going to pick a game for you right here, and feel free to play these. Mississippi State and Auburn at Jordan-Hare 11 right out of game day on ESPN. This is one of those games that both these teams have been in or out of the college football playoff rankings. I think the season swings one way or the other for the winner and the loser.
Yeah, look, Mississippi State could easily be 8-1. Auburn's coming off a difficult loss where they only scored 3 points, obviously, in College Station. And we got bad Bo. Bo Nix has been really good this year, and you just wonder what the follow-up is going to be. Last year against Zach Arnett's defense, 125 passing yards, 3rd worst of his career. This is a good Mississippi State defense. To me, these are kind of equivalent teams. I don't know how you feel on that, but I think Will Rogers is a really good quarterback. This number should be like 3.5. It's 5.5. I think you're getting value. I would play the dog in this situation. Mississippi State 5-1 against the number their last 6 road games. They've also covered 4 of their last 5 against ranked opponents. So I think you're getting some value here with Mississippi State plus 5.5.
I saw them at their absolute worst against Alabama. They couldn't run the ball. They don't want to run the ball, but they couldn't get anything going offensively against the Tide. We'll see what they do at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Good news for Auburn. Brandon Council, left tackle, expected to play with no problem there. That's an 11 o'clock ESPN game. 11 o'clock on Fox, the big noon game is Oklahoma and Baylor. Oklahoma's unbeaten. They didn't really move in the college football playoff rankings, but a lot of people are starting to say this team deserves to be a playoff team. You also have people saying Lincoln Riley may be looking at another job. Sometimes that doesn't go well. The tricky game on the road in Waco.
Yeah, it is. The one thing Lincoln Riley has got going for him, he's never lost a November game as a head coach. And Oklahoma, the program themselves, they've won 23 consecutive games in the month of November. Last time they lost was 2014. This is a really good Oklahoma rush defense. And Abram Smith is one of the better running backs probably nobody knows about. He's averaging 7.3 yards per carry. He's got 11 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, the running back for Baylor. Alex Grinch, the philosophy, it will be slow him down, make Bohannon beat you through the air. I will say Baylor is 5-0 against the number in home games this year, so they've been good there. Number might be a tick high. I think this is going to be another one of those Oklahoma scares. I think it comes down to a final possession. I don't love the game. If I leaned it just based on the fact that I think Oklahoma will find a way to survive and advance, I would play Oklahoma, but I don't love it.
You don't love it. I'm going to love watching that one. I'm going to love watching Michigan and Penn State as well. 11 o'clock on ABC. Michigan still has dreams of a college football playoff, but truthfully, you've got 2 coaches here in Jim Harbaugh and in James Franklin that have been less than what their fan bases wanted them to be.
Yeah, I don't know what gives here. You know, Harbaugh 2-9 in his career on road games between ranked teams, and you look at Penn State, 2-12 outright versus top 10s under James Franklin. Right now, this number is flipping and flopping back and forth. It opened at Michigan 1. It went to Penn State 1. Now it's sitting at Michigan 1. I lean home team here. I think Penn State's got the better quarterback. I think Penn State's got the better defense. Coaching, I don't know what you do there. Again, this is one of those games I don't trust either. Penn State is 5-1, though, against the number versus teams with winning records. So take that for what it's worth. I lean Penn State here, but again, don't love it.
5 games outside of that 11 o'clock window. We'll talk about those. You good chance you'll get a play from them at lanceslock.com. He'll tell you the leans right here. How do I become a member at lanceslock.com?
Yeah, Dunaway, this is year 6 of existence for lanceslock.com. And we started out, I've always been one of these guys that, has loved to gamble, has followed the numbers, try to predict the numbers. And it went from becoming a hobby to becoming something that, really wanted to establish as a side business. And we love what we do. We could give you up to 13 picks on a Saturday. We've gone up to 17 picks. We just take our best picks. We give them to you. It's not only college football. It's the NFL. It's college basketball. It's the NBA. We do everything 365 days a year, all leagues, and it's only $90. You get absolutely everything for $90. Most services are charging a couple of $100s for one day of plays. We're charging you $90 for the entire month. We give you a free play every day. Again, we've hit 7 of our last 9 free plays. Jump on board, lanceslock.com. Great Christmas gift for the gambler in your life as well.
Absolutely. Spoiler makers is what they're called. Purdue's already done it twice this year, being a top 5 team. Can they do it against Ohio State in Columbus, 2:30 ABC?
So they're looking to become only the second team in history to beat 3 top 10 teams as an unranked team.
Wow.
You want to guess the other team that did this?
The other team that did that was, I'm going to say, Auburn.
Was the grand year of 1959. The Illini, the Fighting Illini.
Oh, how about that?
Actually did that back
What
in
I've
the day.
learned is that the Big Ten gets overrated sometimes.
Apparently so. Aiden O'Connell is playing tremendous football, though, for Jeff Brom right now. Jeff Brom, former quarterback at Louisville. O'Connell is completing almost 72% of his passes, which is 5th nationally. He's on pace for a Purdue record. This just seems like a game that you and I started talking about Monday. The number is so inflated, and a lot of that has to do with the Ohio State brand. But Purdue coming off that emotional win last week against Michigan State, an undefeated Michigan State, seems like things are going to click this week for Ohio State. And I think O'Connell will make multiple mistakes. We saw him throw 3 picks 3 weeks ago. I think he throws multiple picks. Ohio State's defense, way too much for that Purdue secondary. I like Ohio State minus the 20.
I'm the landmine, but that's the game I circled to start the week that everybody would be on Purdue. Georgia, Tennessee, 2:30 CBS game. Everybody's on Tennessee in this one, thinking Tennessee can play inside a big number, that they may have a chance to upset Georgia, that it'll be the first real test for that Georgia defense through the air. I think that Georgia defense is quite good. I don't think they're going to be challenged by Tennessee.
Well, they haven't had a letdown. I mean, arguably the only game you could say that Georgia didn't play well in was week 1 against Clemson, and coming out of that game, we had no idea. We thought Clemson was a good football team. I'll give you more trivia. So Tennessee 2-13 all-time versus number 1 opponents. Can you tell me the number 1 opponents that Tennessee in the history of the program has been able to beat?
I'm going to say, how many did they beat?
2.
2 different ones?
One of them was 1959, that illustrious year of Illinois when they upset 3 top 10s.
In 1959, I think they beat Auburn when they were number 1, and I think they also beat Florida when they were number 1.
Well, you got one of the 2 right, but different years. 1959, they upset LSU as number 1, and in 1985, they beat the number 1 Auburn Tigers. Tennessee, look, the offense has gotten much better under Hendon Hooker, but sometimes they go on these lulls. And I know Hendon Hooker's not the quarterback he was against Florida. They didn't score in the second half against Florida. They scored 7 points against Alabama in the fourth quarter. Georgia is just curb stomping everyone. The only thing that concerns me with Georgia is if Kirby Smart and Todd Bunn can start to overthink this quarterback rotation. Stetson Bennett here, we throw in JT Daniels there, and you can't get a rhythm. And when you're laying 3 touchdowns, that could be a problem. I kind of lean Tennessee here just because I believe Tennessee will be able to score 17 to 20 points, which hasn't been done against Georgia. Just got that feeling. And Georgia's due kind of an off game, not even a bad game, but I kind of lean Tennessee here. I don't love it, but I would play Tennessee.
3 more games, lanceslock.com. Go to the website. You'll be able to sign up there. Texas A&M and Ole Miss. This is the game day location. It's also where Herbstreit and Fowler will be calling the game there in Oxford.
So going back last week, Ole Miss, second play from scrimmage, Jarian Ely goes 70 yards. Outside of that 70-yard run, they went 77 yards on 27 carries. I don't know if you've watched Mike Elko's defense, and I know you have.
Yes.
That rush defense is really, really good. And so I think it's going to be all about stopping Ole Miss, make Matt Corral beat you through the air, which he can have success. But Ole Miss is 0-3 right now against the number versus ranked teams this year. On the flip side, Jimbo wasn't good in this spot before. He was 0-6 in ranked versus ranked matchups. Since then, he's 3-1 his last 4 ranked versus ranked. I don't know who I love here, and I hate to be like riding the fence. I lean A&M here. I don't love it, I think it's a really difficult game, much like you talked about Mississippi State, Auburn. It's kind of a swing game to see what direction one of those programs is going to go for the remainder of 2021. Kind of agree here. And A&M has an opportunity, as we know, if they win out, Alabama loses, A&M represents the SEC West.
A lot more on the line for the Aggies here. Notre Dame and Virginia, 2 games before we're done outside the SEC. The Irish still with some hope of making the college football playoffs, and Virginia with a little bit of a quarterback question.
Yeah, so if Brennan Armstrong plays, I feel really good about Virginia. You could almost play a money line here. You catch him 5.5. I think that number is kind of sitting between 5.5 and 6. Vegas is trying to figure out whether or not Armstrong will play. Bronco Mendenhall's keeping it close to the vest. Without Brennan Armstrong, I don't think they have any shot. With him, this is a really, really good offense. If you've been unable to watch Virginia football this year, the offense is great with Armstrong. The defense is no good. This could be one of those things you take a peek at the over, but I lean Virginia. I don't even lean Virginia. If Armstrong plays, I think Virginia plus 5.5. I think they can win the game outright. Notre Dame, though, for the record, 6-1 against the number their last 7 out.
All right, and finally, late night on ESPN, Washington State and Oregon. The possibility of this could all go south for Oregon. Best win on the board this year, worst loss on the board this year of the playoff contenders, and here's Washington State.
And you know where I am right now on Oregon. I don't love this team at all, and Oregon right now, they clinched the Pac-12 North with a win and an Oregon State loss. They are 4-14-1 against the number as a home favorite since 2018. 0-5 this season. This is too many points for a team that can turn you over. And that's what Washington State is doing. They forced 16 turnovers in conference play, 4 more than anyone else. They've covered 6 consecutive games. This number should be under 10 points. It's 13.5. Getting too many points. Anthony Brown, multiple mistakes. Limit Travis Dye to 150 or less. This game goes down to a final possession.
Wow.
Love Washington State.
Wow. Loves Washington State. That's a great way to end it right there. But to get all the plays and an update on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon before the games kick, lanceslock.com. How do you do that?
Yeah, just jump on board, lanceslock.com. Again, we got a free play up as we record this on a Friday night. We've got Cincinnati. Style points for the Bearcats tonight,
yes.
minus the 23.5 against South Florida. We've hit 7 of 9 free plays for you. Just monitor us, see what you think about it, but it's only $90 per month. Jump on board. You don't like it, you can jump right off. We've been in business 6 years. We've never had a losing year. We are going to win for you, lanceslock.com.
As they say at Roadhouse, double deuces.
Double deuces.